Okay, figured why not before I go off to bed, maybe fire off a Twins video. Because they lost again. That is now 6 in a row. This one tonight, it was at least a little more interesting than it seems like they've lost every game like 4-2 lately. This one they actually led 4-0, and they blew it. I'm not gonna go bad beat. This fucking team, they're just a bad baseball team. Forget 10-2 start. That was a fluke. They're just a bad team, and they're a lifeless team, and they don't seem to give a shit. I mean, there were 2 plays late in the game today that were just kind of striking in how just it shows how just this team is they're either just checked out mentally, or they're lazy, or they don't care. There's a ground ball that hit by Gonzalez, that the second baseman kind of bobbles a little bit and has to recover and throw it. And Gonzalez is like 20 feet from even reaching first base. Like, he wasn't running at all. He's just completely not even trying. And, they would have had a first and second in that situation. They did get a hit. Cave got a hit right after that to actually put him ahead briefly, but, maybe you get a bigger inning. If, your veteran player actually gives a shit and tries, but I guess I can't ask that of him. And then in the ninth inning, routine fly ball, and Kepler runs in and just lays, just a non-attempt at even catching the ball, and it drops, and surprise, surprise, immediately after that, Taylor Rogers completely implodes, which is kind of his MO lately, and they lose 8-5. I'm officially rescinding my apology to Taylor Rogers. He is back to being a piece of you-know-what. I'm so sick of him. He's just a fucking bum. They're all bums. I'm so sick of this fucking team. Like, even tonight, they scored 5 runs, and it's like, oh wow, they actually scored 5 runs. They actually did more than what they usually do. But the second inning, the White Sox committed 3 errors, and that's why the Twins got 3 runs in that inning. At maximum, they get maybe 1 run out of that inning, if not for the White Sox just becoming idiots in the field for a few minutes. Beyond that, it was kind of just the same old shit, lifeless at bats, it was a little better, but I mean, Sano hit a home run, and Cave actually got a kind of a clutch hit for once, and Arias had a nice hit, but, then on the flip side, Rosario had one of the worst at bats I've ever seen. The pitch was practically in the White Sox dugout, and he's swinging at the fucking thing. And of course, this one, the pitching staff, which I still think is good, and I still think is, deserves a very small percentage of the blame for this collapse that is taking place. Rich Hill started, and he was okay for a while, and then he couldn't fucking find the plate at all. He walks the bases loaded. It's obvious he's lost it, and Rocco doesn't even get him out of there before he can walk the bases loaded. Duffy comes in. Duffy wasn't very good either, but he gave up 1 hit that scored 2 runs, but I mean, they were charged to Duffy. And later on, Clippert comes in, and he struggles and gives up 2 runs that ties the game. Then after they take the lead back, Trevor May comes in and gives up a home run that hit, one maybe didn't even land yet. And then Taylor Rogers is what he is. So, I don't know. Fuck. They're fucking dumb. I'm so sick of this shit. Six losses in a row. That 10-2 start, that might as well have been 5 years ago. Because they weren't even as good as the record said there. And now they're just worse. I mean, they're over the last, almost 4 weeks now, they've just been a terrible team. Terrible. And again, for the most part, they've been playing the scrubs. And because they've been playing the scrubs, they've still been able to eke out, some wins here and there. Now you're playing the White Sox, who are really good, and, they're going to take advantage of every mistake you make. And they're not going to make the mistakes that maybe a Kansas City or Milwaukee or theoretically Detroit would make. And, this is going to be just a fucking massacre, Like, they don't seem to care. Anyone. Like, I mean, they didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. I didn't have a problem with that because I didn't, there weren't really a lot of guys out there. But it's like, you got guys in St. Paul, bring somebody over here, do something. They're just doing this, oh, well, Donaldson will be back. When? When the fuck is he going to be back? He's been out a month with a sore calf. You think he's going to suddenly come back and just be, tearing the cover off the ball and playing every day? And it's like, no. Garver was shit. And he come back. And Buxton, we know how it is with Buxton. He'll come back. And, it'll be a couple weeks of him getting his swing back again. If he even gets it back. They're just it's a disaster. This is going to go down as one of the biggest flop seasons in the history of the Twins. When they miss the playoffs, which they are going to miss the playoffs. Bet, if you own a farm, bet the fucking farm that the Twins miss the playoffs.